In the stark white of a winter day, the queen stands, a solitary figure against the castle courtyard. Her gaze drifts to the vibrant red berries, a stark contrast against the pristine snow. The ebony window frame catches her eye, a dark border to the winter scene. Lost in thought, the queen murmurs, "Skin as white as snow, lips as red as blood, hair as black as ebony." Her voice echoes softly in the winter air, a wish whispered into the snow-covered courtyard. In the heart of winter, Snow White is born, her arrival a beacon of hope in the castle. Weakened but radiant, the queen gazes upon her daughter as snowflakes dance beyond the window. An enchanted sleep descends upon the queen, casting a shadow over the joyous occasion. A year of mourning passes, and the king, cloaked in sorrow, seeks solace in a new queen, whose beauty masks a hidden vanity. Bathed in the radiant glow of daylight, the queen stands frozen, a statue adorned in midnight blue. Her voice echoes in the chamber. "Mirror, mirror, on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" The mirror responds, its voice chillingly clear. "You, my queen, are fair. It's true, but Snow White grows more fair than you." The queen's face twists, a mask of venomous rage slowly consuming her. Her eyes narrow with growing rage. The queen is consumed by fury, her face a twisted mask of jealous rage. The queen, an icy figure, issues a sharp command, her power cutting through the forest air. The huntsman, his face etched with grim resolve, nods in acknowledgement. Later, the huntsman guides a terrified Snow White into the forest's dark heart. In a hushed voice, the huntsman urges, "Run away, child. Hide where she will never find you." In the dense forest, Snow White, her face etched with terror, stumbles blindly through the undergrowth. Lost and alone, she pushes past looming trees, each step fueled by desperation. Through the thicket, a small cottage emerges, a beacon of hope in the overwhelming wilderness. Her weary steps falter as she finds a small cottage. It promises respite from the forest dread. Snow White cautiously steps into the dwarf's cottage, overwhelmed by the miniature world around her. 7 tiny settings gleam invitingly on the table, each a testament to the dwarf's meticulous lifestyle. Driven by hunger, Snow White samples a morsel from each setting, a subtle act of defiance against the unknown. Exhaustion overtakes her, and she seeks solace in the 7th bed, succumbing to its cozy embrace. In the quiet of the dwarf's cottage, Snow White lies asleep, her innocence a stark contrast to the looming danger. The neatness of the cottage wraps around the sleeping Snow White, a fragile shield against the perils lurking outside. The 7 dwarfs, weary from their labors, return to their snug cottage as dusk descends. A strange stillness hangs in the air, breaking their weary routine. A vision of unexpected beauty. Snow White lies in a deep slumber across their table. Her ebony hair fans out like a halo, contrasting sharply with the rough-hewn table. The dwarf's cottage door creaks open, revealing the queen disguised as an old peddler, a silk ribbon shimmering enticingly in her aged hands. Snow White, her youthful curiosity overcoming caution, opens the door, inviting darkness into her sanctuary. A glint of wicked triumph flashes in the queen's eyes as she swiftly encircles Snow White's delicate neck with the silk ribbon. The silk ribbon tightens mercilessly, a silken noose stealing the breath from Snow White's lungs. Snow White's face contorts in a silent scream, her rosy complexion fading to a deathly pallor as she struggles against the unseen force. In a final, desperate gasp, Snow White succumbs, her lifeless form collapsing onto the hard wooden floor, a tragic tableau of innocence betrayed. As dusk descends, casting long shadows, the dwarfs arrive at their quaint cottage, anticipating a peaceful retreat. A wave of shock washes over them as they discover Snow White lying motionless, a cruel twist of fate. Quick action turns to desperation as the dwarfs frantically cut the ribbon strangling Snow White, fighting against time itself. A gasp escapes her lips, and her eyes flutter open, a fragile spark of life rekindled from the brink of oblivion. "We warned you, Snow White," Be careful of strangers and their gifts." The dwarfs' voices echo with a mix of relief and stern warning. The dwarfs huddle around Snow White. Their faces a mixture of relief and lingering fear as the gravity of the moment sinks in. Before the quaint dwarf's cottage, the queen, disguised as a farmer's wife, presents a dazzling apple to Snow White. The apple, a beacon of temptation, gleams with contrasting sides of red and innocent white. To quell suspicion, the queen bites into the white side of the apple, a show of deceptive harmlessness. Snow White, with pure trust, accepts the offer and bites into the apple's tempting red side. A moment of bliss turns to tragedy as Snow White's eyes flutter and she collapses into a death-like sleep. High in the mountains, the dwarfs, their hearts heavy with sorrow, gently lay Snow White into a crystal coffin. The crystal reflects the sun's rays, casting a dazzling light upon the mountainside. A prince arrives on a magnificent white steed, his eyes widening at Snow White's beauty. He dismounts, approaching the dwarves with reverence. "Please, let me take her. I beg you." On a steep mountainside, the prince's servants struggle to carry Snow White's coffin, their faces etched with sorrow. A sudden stumble sends a jolt through the coffin, disturbing the stillness within. Inside the coffin, Snow White coughs, the poisoned apple dislodging from her throat, her body convulsing slightly. Her eyes flutter open, revealing a glimmer of life as she gasps for air, awakening from her death-like slumber. The prince kneels beside her, his face radiant with relief as he asks, "Snow White, will you marry me?"